Okay, I'll do that. Okay, that's
Okay. Good evening and welcome. I'm Alexa.
Hello.
Hi Jenny. Hi.
Hey,
How's it going?
good.
Welcome. I got a few messages from a few of the people who will be joining, but to respect everybody's time, I think we should get this rolling. I'm Alexis, the founder of Fanfaire, and we have this community because we want to help like-minded individuals grow their business. And I am thrilled to have Mia Hamza here tonight. So, Mia's based in New York. She's been in the balloon decor industry for 4 years and has had massive growth in such a short period of time. And so I know a lot of people want to learn from her. She also has a mentorship and is a coach, and she has members in a school community just like this. And so tonight we are going to be talking about how to attract luxury clients and learn about how Mia's journey went and how she was able to find success so quickly. So, Mia, will you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Alexis. Thank you so much for the opportunity to, uh, talk with so amazing ladies like the ones in your group. It's a pleasure for me to be here. And yes, my name is, as you said, Mia Hamza. Originally, I'm from Kosovo, and I moved in US only 4 years ago. Right away, right after a month or 55 weeks, I started my balloon journey. And it's been a crazy journey that I would never thought or dream of, but it's been an amazing one as well.
Awesome. So you moved straight here and you already had this vision that you wanted to start this type of business. You must have like who did you see that
Absolutely
inspired you?
not. Well, in Kosovo, I was a high school teacher. And
Okay.
then for a short period of time, a little bit more than a year, I was a TV host. Then we moved to US, and when I came here, I had no idea what I should do, where to start, no friends, no family, no one. I was trying to find a job, so I started searching on grocery stores, restaurants. I just wanted to do something because it was too hard for me to just stay at home. And then no one was hiring me. Like I faced a big rejection everywhere I was going to because maybe I don't know, no one was wanted to hire me. I remember I used to say maybe I'm overqualified. That's why people don't want me. But it was heartbroken because I was heartbroken because um, coming from a country where I had a career and I was so busy to not doing anything and facing rejection everywhere, a new country, new language, everything new. It was really, really hard. That's when I remember my brother actually started saying, "Why don't you start something of your own? You're talented. I know you can do something." And he actually was suggesting to do hair and makeup because I always liked those things. And since back home, I had a YouTube and Instagram page. And this my page was all about crafting, like doing crafting with my kids. That's how I got to having the TV show. I was doing crafting with kids.
Oh
And I
wow.
said, I need to do something that has to do with that I can do with my hands. Like I had no idea what, I just knew that's something that has to do with crafting, and that's how balloons came along. Like I saw so many people doing balloons and they seemed so fun and colorful. So I said, why don't I just try balloons? It seemed like I don't have to spend a lot of money because I really didn't have a lot of money. I had nothing. I was living in my brother's house. I didn't have a car or anything. So balloons seemed the best idea, so I don't have to invest a lot of money. And it will be more like my talent and what I'm capable to do than just rather than spending and investing a lot of money on something of my own. So that's how the balloon idea came up. I just bought a bunch of balloon bags on Amazon and I started blowing. And I said, okay, let's see where this goes.
Wow. So hold on. Where in New York are you?
Right now we're based in Staten Island, New York. But when I came in the beginning, my first year, I was based in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
Okay. So you didn't have a car.
No,
You're trying to find clients to do balloons. So like how are you thinking you're going to get these balloons to the
I have
client?
That you can imagine my fear. Like, okay, I don't have a car, but my brother have one, and he said you can use mine. He had a really small car, which was really hard for me to, bring
Yeah.
everything. Um, I don't have a house. My brother's house is very small because now he has guests, so it's only 2 rooms. So it's really like a small place, but he said, you don't think about any of, ideas of this is my brother's house and I can't do anything. You just think of trying to do and how can you be successful. So you can imagine a small house full of balloons and scissors and ribbons and you whatnot all around the house. Like you couldn't just move around. That's how my brother's house was in the beginning when I started because I really had no idea what I'm doing. All what I was trying was watching YouTube videos, whatever I could find, Instagram short clips, those 30 seconds, trying to figure out what how they're doing it. And but I would spend my day, trying and trying and trying to do and create something.
Okay. So you don't see obstacles, you just see opportunity, which is
Yeah.
great. Like, forget the rest, it's all noise. I'm just doing it. Okay, I love the attitude. Okay. A lot of people, and I've seen a lot of balloon artists who come to me and they're like, okay, they're overanalyzing how they're going to get their business going. The only way to do it is to go. I love that.
Yes,
I love that.
exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
okay, okay. So, how did you find your first client? I mean, you don't even know anybody here. So, like, you have
Yeah.
your brother. How did you find your first client?
I only have a brother here, and I have no idea where to buy stuff. I have no idea there's a Michael's or Hobby Lobby that you can go and get some crafting things. Just like no clue. Like all in a desert. That's how I felt. But I had my brother who was here for a few years. He was trying to, give me some information, but I had internet, I had Google, and then I had Amazon. So basically, I had everything kind of. That's how I saw it from my perspective. Because I started right away searching. Like I would go on Google, YouTube, everywhere that I could find information about balloons and how to do it. So of course, the first thing I did was buying a bag of balloons on Amazon, the ones that you create, and I remember I created my first garland using those lines with those,
Strip. The
holes.
strip with
Yeah,
the
the
holes. Yeah.
strips. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
That was my first thing. And I was so proud of myself. You have no idea. Like I couldn't believe I created that. It was my first ever balloon garland that I did in my life. So I said, okay, I think I can do this. This looks amazing. When I see it, it's crazy to think it's amazing, but for me, it was at that point of my life because I saw an opportunity. I saw something that I can make of my own and do something. Otherwise, I had no meaning at that moment. Just imagine someone who, for a second, was in front of cameras, you know, a little popular in my area, people would know me. And then you come to another country and suddenly you're zero, like you have nothing, no one knows you, nothing to do. So I said, okay, I see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, so I'm gonna try this. And my brother says, you all you need to do right now is think of how you can create beautiful designs. So that was all I was thinking. I would get up in the morning, take my kids to school, come back, and just do balloons all day. Nothing at all. Just balloons, 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 balloons all day. When my kids would come, of course, I would make lunch and all the stuff. When they would go to sleep, I would continue searching online because during the night I couldn't blow balloons because it was too,
Nice.
noise. So
Yeah.
I would continue just searching how to create this, how to create that, what's trending. Oh, I like this, I don't like this. Trying everything and trying to see what I can do. And because I was so consistent of, practicing, I started getting so good on this thing that was new to me, but it felt like, oh my God, yeah, I can see that I'm becoming better and it's easier every day for me. So, okay, it's been 4 weeks. I feel like I'm ready. How can I find my client now? Like I had no idea where to go. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna think, who wants balloons? parents, right? Parents want balloons for their kids, their, birthday parties and all that stuff. So I can go to my kids' school and just tell them, if you want balloons, I can do that for them. So I went to the principal of the school of my daughter, and I told her, I'm starting this balloon business and I am willing to do balloons for the first day of school for you. All you have to do is just tell people that that's what I'm doing, and if they need balloons, then they can call me. So I went there, and I did this amazing big balloon garlands because I knew I have to make an impact. And I remember I chose the theme was bees, bees like smart things.
Yeah.
And then I did this big balloon arch, and everyone was like blown away. They haven't seen something like that. So they were like, oh, everyone who did this, who did this, who did this. And I'm like, me. And my brother introduced me to this app called Thumbtack because he was doing appliances. So that's how he would find clients. And he said, you know what? Why don't you use Thumbtack for balloons as well? Maybe you'll find clients because otherwise it's if you use just social media, you need people to trust you because no one is willing to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to someone they just see, on Instagram. Like you need something kind of to be more safe for them to pay. So he said, why don't we just, open an account for you with your name of the business and all that. And I opened a Thumbtack account and I asked the parents of the kids who were in the school who loved my balloon arch. I told them, please, can you give me a review of what you think about, this balloon arch on my Thumbtack page? They were so happy with what I did. So they went there and I got almost 10 reviews from all of these parents around. And that's how I started on Thumbtack. That's where I started to get my first clients on Thumbtack because my social media was, I just had like a few followers, mostly friends and family from Kosovo, like not even from US. And I started building a portfolio with real clients, which I believe is just an amazing thing because usually whenever I talk with, especially now my students who come to me, maybe they are in the business like a year or two or more, and they created and they build their portfolio by doing things for free for their friends and family by spending their money. I was lucky enough to find Thumbtack and I didn't spend any money really on investing my on things. Of course, in the beginning it was something, but $2,000 is not nothing to start a business that will bring you thousands and thousands of dollars every month. So I started building my portfolio as I was getting clients from Thumbtack. But the whole idea for me was okay, because since I was a high school teacher and I taught students who had who were studying to do heating and who studied to do to be a nurse and these kind of professions. I was teaching them English, so I was good with English, like not fluent. I was struggling with my English, especially with things that I never had to do with, like what is a garland? I had no idea what the difference of garland and arch is. I had no idea. Looking for months, I couldn't compare to, but I worked through that. So I remember telling my students, don't feel like you're less just because you are a worker doing the heating or plumbing or, these kind of jobs. A successful person is one that does his job with excellence. It doesn't matter what kind of job it is. You just need to, whatever you're doing, do it with love and try to be the best at it. That's the only way that you can get the respect and be successful or on anything you do. So now it was my time to prove that to I remember having my students in Kosovo in my mind all the time and what I actually told them when I was their teacher. Like, whatever you do, you need to learn it so good to be so good at it that people come to you because you're just irreplaceable on what you do. So that's what my priority was, like being so good on creating balloons and designs that people would come to me and ask for my design. So that was actually the first thing that I always tell my students to do is to focus on their craft And that's what I did. And I remember in only 2 months, I was able to create these big balloon garlands that people really didn't see them around that much, but they just started, becoming very popular around the world.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, once you know about a balloon arch, you can't unsee balloons everywhere you go. They're like everywhere. It's like once you get a red car, all you see is red cars. It's the same thing. Like I see them in movies, TV commercials, like they're literally like everywhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why your focus needs to be where it should. So then you can expand and you do what you want to do.
Okay, so you've built up a network and you're mostly getting your clients through Thumbtack, but now you've decided, okay, I want to level up. I have the skills. I want to go after luxury clients. How did you bridge from your day-to-day client who would search on Thumbtack to doing the installations that I've seen you do online?
Yeah. So, um, Thumbtack is a great app for people who are starting out, especially if you are still building your portfolio, because it's an app where people, when they come there, they have like not only you, they have a bunch of other decorators in your area that they can choose from. And the disadvantage of the Thumbtack is that sometimes people choose the one who is the cheapest because they have options. So it's amazing for people who are starting out because when you start out, you can't really charge that much because your craft is not that good, that you can't compare your balloon work and you have only a month or two in the business with someone who has years and they know what they're doing. But it's an amazing way to have money so you can reinvest in your business and create a portfolio. So I was taking so many jobs from Thumbtack because um, uh, every time I took a job, I didn't think of it of, okay, this is a balloon job and this is what my client want. Okay, yes, I want to make sure that she is satisfied at the end. Like she paid the money, she needs to be happy, right? That's the priority. But to me, my goal, it was not to make my client satisfied. To me, every job was a piece of marketing. Like big companies that they see marketing on social media, on influencers or anything. To me, it was my work. Like I always imagined when I create something and I post it, but not only posting on my socials, but also all the guests on that party that are going to come, they're going to see it. Everyone can be my potential client. So
Mhm.
I always thought of my job that way. And to make sure that I'm creating something great, I would make it better than what my client wanted. Always more. Like
Yeah.
if she would like just a backdrop and a small balloon garland because her budget wasn't that high, I would make sure I add something. I didn't want it to be like um only on that box of what she wanted. I always wanted to see outside the box of what I can create something different. So whenever I would create something, I always made sure to add something new and new and new. So when you create something new every time on every job, it's kind of an investment on every job you do. So that's how I built not only my portfolio of starting from smaller jobs, then making bigger, 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 but also I created a community of clients who would never change me with anyone because they would know that once they go there, they will be surprised with what it's going to be at the end because it was always better than what they imagined. That's how I went from small jobs to bigger. And of course, in the beginning, it wasn't that easy because um, my mindset wasn't there yet. Now, I believe mindset is number one that you need to change if you really want to level up. And I always say one thing to my students, if you want your business to grow, you need to grow as a person first. That's the key. If you grow as a person, your business is going to grow with you. So for the first 2 years, my goal was only to become really good at my craft and trying to add more stuff and make my setups bigger and have a community. But then something started shifting at me, especially when I started meeting people who already are where I wanted to be. Like when I started, talking with these people who, why kind of were my goals of what I wanted to become, and then I saw that they see things from a different perspective. I understood that actually, okay, it's all about the way we think. If I am still thinking as an employee, then my results are going to be smaller because usually an employee thinks about that salary, about, what's coming at the end of the week or month. But if I want to really grow, I need to think as an employer, as a businesswoman. Like I need to shift that thinking. And I think this is where most of the people who start a business, especially the ones that have no experience in business, they don't have any family members. They didn't have anyone in their family to see what they need to go through in a business. They get stuck on that mindset, and then it's hard to grow because you can grow till a point and then stop. But if you really want to grow bigger, you need to grow your mindset first. The moment I understood that if I want to go to a certain point, to a goal that I have, I need first to invest in myself and bring my mindset there because my mindset is the number one. That's when things started to shift for me, like really, really, really fast. And that's when I saw big changes, and then people started to notice me and my really fast growth.
There were a couple people that you mentioned when we previously spoke that you look to for this growth mindset and how you've adjusted the way that you think. Do you want to share a little bit about who you've looked to and some of the things
Yeah.
that you've learned from them?
Of course. Before going to the people, I just wanted to share about where I was and how I started to see these changes. When I moved here in US, to me, as I mentioned, it was like a really big shift in my life, not only my career. Like just moving to a different country is a big step. But
Oh,
for me, especially moving to a different continent with no one there, it was like even crazier. And starting my career again from scratch when I was 34, and I did all this hard job in my country, it was like even harder. So I experienced a really big shift inside of me, and I felt like I am in the lowest point of my life. Um, I it was just hard to accept all the changes and losing. I felt like I lost my identity somehow. Um, from a TV host becoming how people called me in the beginning, the balloon lady, it wasn't easy for me to adjust and, digest and tell myself that like, I'm still important, So I remember I was in this really big depression and I was staying all the time in the living room. Like I wouldn't go out. The only time I would go out was when I had the balloon job that I had to go, all the day inside. And I remember my husband was taking care of the kids. He would make the food, he would take them to the school. I wouldn't do anything. Like I was so bad, really. Like I felt completely lost. And I remember a friend of mine who I met here, who was a balloon artist, and I was, explaining to her how I'm feeling and how it's hard for me. She said, "You know what? I'm gonna give you a gift. I want to give you a book that helped me a lot." And she said, "I'm gonna send you a book. This is a gift from me." And I received the book, but I didn't feel a reading. When you feel that way, you don't feel doing anything. I was just watching movies, like passing the time. And once I went to this pool with my kids, and they didn't allow phones. So I really didn't know what to do. So I said, next time I go, I'll take the book. I have to do something. So I took the book with me, and I'm sitting there. My kids are swimming in the pool, and I started reading first, second page, all, pessimistic. Third page, and I'm like, as I am, laying down, I go straight up, and I can't believe what I'm reading. This book, it felt like God is talking to me. That's how I felt. It was all about the magic that you find in life all through yourself. If you want happiness, if you want to feel something, it comes from you. No one can save you. It doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you decide to do, it's a decision. If you decide to be happy and successful, it's a decision. You need to take action, and that's all you need to do. Everything is going to come. And I remember, even though it was only 1 hour there, I grabbed my kids. I told them, we have to go home. I went there and I couldn't stop reading this book. And then I bought more than 200 books, all the same self-help books. I couldn't stop reading these books that helped me understand and helped me change the way I was feeling at that time and what actually we need to do in order to, pass all the challenges and fears and whatever we are going through. When I saw the changes that a book can make you, because then I started, watching and listening to podcasts. Because every book that I was reading was telling me, every person that I was listening to, all would say, if you want to grow fast, if you want to be successful, you need to stay with people who are already there. I didn't have any of those people. I didn't have anyone here. Like, you're saying me, I need to have coffee or lunch with someone who is successful, who is a millionaire, who is a successful entrepreneur. Who? How? So I started sending some emails, cold emails, to people who I thought I would love to stay with. No one responded. No one wanted to stay with me. I'm like, what should I do? Like, this is like, what kind of advice is this? You're saying, but how can I stay with people who don't want to stay with me? So then I thought, okay, if no one who is successful wants to stay with me, then I need to find ways how I can get their point of view so I can use it for my business, because I come from a family with zero experience in business. My parents are teachers. My uncles, aunts, most of them are on the teaching industry. They all are teachers of different subjects. No one in my family was an entrepreneur, a successful business person. Like, I was the first one kind of starting. My brother had a small business, but he was just starting out. He had stuff to, figure out himself too. So kind of, I was the first one trying to do something bigger. So that's when I thought, okay, I have two options. I can watch their interviews and I can read their books. That was the only way for me to grab the perspective of successful people. Then I became obsessed. Like, I used to think this obsession of mine that I have when I want something is bad, but now I feel like if you really want to be successful, you need to be obsessed of at some point. Otherwise, then it's hard to get where you want. So I became obsessed, and I still am, with podcasts and books. Like, every day I listen or I watch at least one episode or half of an episode because these are long. So, more than 2 years now, every day I listen and watch different podcasts of people who are already where I want to be. And that helped me so much understand and see the business and life also from a different perspective. I feel like I learned more in the past 2 years for my life, more than 34 years before that I started my life, because I was so obsessed on watching these and then taking action of my life, not only business, but also fixing my relationships with my kids and my husband and my siblings and my family members, and just trying to be there and change and work on myself in every area of life. Because the moment you work in yourself, then everything around you start to shift, and your business as well. So I found these people who I really liked, and then as the business was going very well, I started buying their courses. I remember my first course that I bought for business was Tony Robbins, because I really liked him. I liked his podcast. I like his books. So I got two of his online courses. And I remember one of the things that, I learned from him on one of these courses was, in order to have 70% increase on your budget, people think it's too much, but it's actually just some really small numbers that you need to move. Like it's much easier than what you think. So usually people when then think of something, they think it's so hard in their head, but it's actually not. And because they think it's too hard, they don't try at all. It's all about just go. Now, don't think it's hard or easy. Just go try it and you can be surprised. This is one of the things that I learned from him. And then I found Alex Sermozy and Layla, who are one of the best entrepreneurs now in general and very, very successful. Me and my husband decided to spend $10,000 just to go on their course in Las Vegas. We went there. The course was like general, like how to start the business, how to scale the business. So it had nothing to do with balloons or anything. But what I learned there was irreplaceable because I was in a room with 100 other people who were all more successful with numbers than me. Most of them were millionaires. Like, if you come from a country, well, like a very poor country, and your um, childhood is very poor, like, it's hard to imagine having millions of dollars. Like, you think that these people who have millions, they're different. They must be different, you know? They have something that you don't have. And being able to sit with people who are millionaires and they don't seem any different than us. Like they just if I can say you feel like you're smarter than them, you know, like the way they talk, they you feel like they're dumb and they're millionaires. Like I had this person right next to me, his revenue was $3 million, and I couldn't listen to him more than 5 minutes. It was hard for me to have a conversation with him. And then you understand that, hey, it's not about who you are, it's about the risks that you take. It's about the action. It's about the work that you do and your mindset of what you want to achieve. And it's possible for everyone. If it's possible for this person and that person who seem very normal, then it's possible for you as well. So for me, just understanding this only thing, it was worth not $10,000, but $100,000. Because that's when I understood that, hey, I just need to think that it's possible and that's it. Because the moment you think it's possible, then you start thinking of how can I get there. So that was really a big shift, especially for my husband as well, because he has the same background as me. So we went there as two young people with big dreams, but now we came back with even bigger dreams and thinking it's possible for us as well. And then I found other coaches, people who are already successful. I bought their courses. All the time I'm doing a course of someone's. Like I never stop because there's always something to learn. And especially in the beginning for me, whatever I was learning from all of these coaches was hard to, because these were like general businesses. So it was kind of hard to understand this is what I learned and how I can do this for my balloon business. But once I understood the connection, then it was really easy for me. And, you know, all the things that I learned there, I just started doing them on my business.
The Hormozis are interesting because they give you like the real scoop. It's not like, oh, just manifest it and it's going to happen. It's like, no, you need to be consistent. You need to work at it every day. And it's not the people that like are doing weird things to make it happen. It's the people who are consistently working and are realistic about like the timeline, right?
Yeah,
It's not that you can't get there. You will get there. It might just be that your expectations that this is going to happen overnight might not happen. You just have to keep working at it, right?
absolutely.
Being
That's
consistent, totally.
consistency was like number one thing. Like consistency, statistics, all the time searching what's working. Do more of what works. Don't do what is not working until now. Like I see a lot of people making the same mistakes over and over again. Like they are in the business for a year or two and they are still waiting for that miracle thing to happen for them. In business, you can't wait for miracles. Like you need to create them. So all you need to do is every month, every 3 months, you sit down, write everything that happened, why this month is better than this one. What did I do on this month that I had 15 jobs? Why this month had only six? Like there's something in it. And what I've seen in my business, but in other people's too, is like it's kind of the same statistic always. That's why I write everything in my business. It's so important to keep data. Data of your clients, what they wanted to do, why did they choose you, where did they find you? That way, when you sit down every 3 months and just see statistics of what worked and what not, then all you need to do is do more of what worked and change your strategy. Like I read, actually, Layla was the one who just posted a reel or something that I really liked what she was saying, and I believe it's true. She said the best advice that a billionaire told me was you need to move fast. Like being fast in business is the best thing you can do. Why? Until some people decide to try, I already have been making 3 or 4 mistakes and tried a few things that didn't work. But what's the difference? I already tried 3 things that didn't work, and for the fourth time, I found what's working. And that other person who is just thinking, they're just thinking still. So that's why in business you need to move fast and you need to check statistics all the time just to find what's working for you. Because in general, there are some same things that help everyone, and there are some general things that are for everyone, for every business. But also you need to find what works best for you because every person is different and every person's life and business model is different. So you grab whatever you can learn from everyone, and then you decide what's best to work for you, and that's how you move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are a few key takeaways right there. So move fast and learn from your mistakes quickly, right?
Yes.
The overanalyzing, I see a lot of blue artists do this. They're always overanalyzing what they should and should not do, but they don't just go, right?
Yeah.
Consistency, yeah, just do the thing. Just do the
Yeah. Just do the thing. You just
just
do
do the
it.
thing. Okay.
Just do the
Okay.
thing.
So obviously you built up your craft and you're consistently finding new clients and you're trying to level up your business, right? So where do you have any specific advice on where some of these balloon artists who are on the call today, where can they find new clients who are willing to spend the luxury amount? Is it they just prove it in their work first and then they'll get to the luxury category, is what you're saying?
Okay, so 2 things that happened for me, and I've seen happening for other balloon artists as well. First, you need to create a community, of course, and whatever you're doing for your clients right now, overdo it. Like you need to over deliver. This is the key. But as I said in the beginning, every job that you do you need to see it as marketing. Like, what is your goal? First, every balloon artist, every entrepreneur need to have a goal. Because if we don't have a specific goal, then we don't work towards it. Like if we just take day by day and we don't have a goal where we want to go, then you won't go there as fast as if you have one. Like imagine if you want to go to New York. Like you say, okay, from California to New York, I need 6 hours by plane. Then you go and buy a plane ticket and then you go to New York, right? But if you don't have a specific destination, you just go around and around and around without knowing exactly where to go. So you need to find a goal. Like for me, in the beginning was monetary. Like I wanted to go to 10K. I wanted to have 10K months as fast as possible. So I was trying to find how can I have more jobs so I can reach 10K a month. Okay, I was having a lot of jobs and I reached 10K 6 months in business. So I started around September and then by March I had 10K revenue. Then, okay, I reached 10K, which was crazy for me, especially because before I had a $500 monthly payment. So it was crazy for me, $10,000. And I said, if I can 10,000, I can do 15 easily. So then my goal was to do 15. And I remember from March to June, June was my first month that I had 18 monthly, 18K. So
Wow.
I was moving fast. Okay. And I remember 18K, I had so many graduation parties. Like I was doing not only weekend, like during the week and all that, but 18K was a big number for me because I saw potential. I said, if I can make this with balloons, because I wasn't doing full decor, I was just doing balloon garlands. I was doing balloon setups, displays. Like it was here and there any centerpiece or welcome sign, but mainly was specific things like, garlands. And I said, okay, how can I go from 15 to more? So I started, I asked my husband to quit his job and help me, but because I felt like alone it would be really hard for me to reach there. You need people. So I
Mhm.
said the best way for us is to be, together. So he quit his job, he joined me, and then 3 months after he quit his job, we reached 30K, which means we doubled it.
Wow. Wow.
So for me was goals, how to get to goals. So when I reached 30K and then I was consistent, 30, 35,
So
30, 35.
that's so even getting to 10 so quickly and then 18 and 30,
Yeah.
like what are some of the things that you're doing? Obviously, you've spread through word of mouth. You at this point, are you even focused on Thumbtack or like, okay, I've dumped Thumbtack. I'm
No.
right,
No, in the beginning it was only until I
right,
created the portfolio, like the first year.
right. Okay. So where are you marketing? How are you sourcing these clients? Because there's some people within your network, right? But then you've
Hmm.
got to get beyond that.
Yeah.
These are not going to all be people from your kid's school.
So in the beginning, it was Thumbtack mostly. Like my first,
Right.
I reached to 18K through Thumbtack. Like my
Really?
main source, yes, my main source of income was Thumbtack. But as I said, I'm a little obsessed because I was the best, the most requested one on Thumbtack. Because Thumbtack, like every other kind of app or social media you use, you need to know how it works. Sometimes people start Thumbtack, they lose a lot of money, and they feel like it doesn't work. No, Thumbtack works really good if you know how to use it. You need to use it for your own benefit, not Thumbtack to use it for its benefit. The point is knowing how to get jobs on Thumbtack. Then I found out what kind of strategy can I use on Thumbtack so I'm the most requested one. So Thumbtack can kind of suggest me to other people, So I found strategies. As I said, I was writing down one of them. I'm going to share one of them with you. So I was paying $150 on Thumbtack weekly, okay, which I felt it's a lot of money on marketing. I did, as I said, I had no clue on business in the beginning. I was paying $150 and I would get leads, and I had weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks sometimes that I didn't book a job, and I spent now $450. And I was like, what's going on? Like, why I don't have enough leads? And I said, okay, there must be something happening. So let's see what I can change. I said, okay, if what if I increase the budget, okay, and see what happens. So I make it 250 for a week. Okay, I increase it. I get 2 jobs because now I have more leads. But with these 2 jobs, when I set and wrote down how much I spend on Thumbtack and how much I get from the clients, it was worth it for me to spend more because I already get 2 jobs that were more than $3,000 and I spent like 250. So I said, okay, so I need to spend a little bit more on marketing and get more jobs. So at the end of the day, I have a lot more money. So I made it unlimited. So I went through and made it unlimited on Thumbtack, which means the moment you have an unlimited budget, anyone can message you, and each message costs like $7, $8. So I said, let's see what happens. Okay, I'll just try it. If it doesn't work, spend too much money, I'll just stop it. But because I had an unlimited budget and my reviews were really, I had 4.9, stars, and I reached diamond level because it's like with levels. So now Thumbtack wants to get more money from me. Okay, it's not that they like you; they just want they want to get more money from you. So they started suggesting me to people because I have an unlimited budget, okay? But more suggestions I have to people, more jobs I get because now I have more opportunities. So I remember I spent a little bit more than 300 one week. I got 4 or 5 jobs. Like it was amazing. I'm not saying every week was 4 or 5 jobs. Of course not. I'm just saying that I saw a big difference when I was, seeing, I was just looking at statistics and seeing what's working and what not. What I see to a lot of young entrepreneurs who are just starting out is they have a rough month, they have 3 rough weeks, and they start thinking it doesn't work for them. So that's when they are mistaken. It's not that it's not working for you. You just need to find what's working, If this week didn't work that well, you had maybe another week that worked well. See what you did that week. Make a change. If you do the same actions, you're going to have the same results, right? So all you need to do is change actions, see what happens. At the end of the day, what's going to happen besides not having jobs, right? And we're not going to die. Okay, we just have this really big thinking of we failed in our head. But if we think, okay, this didn't work, let's see something else that's going to work. So this is how all the time I was doing the things. And then once I saw that if I really want to go to a specific kind of job, in this case, I wanted to position myself because one of the advices that I can give to people who want to go to luxury events and big events, you need to position yourself. Okay, no one is going to come and tell you you're for luxury. You need to position yourself. You need to say, listen, I do luxury. But how can you position yourself? By doing the work even before, people see it. I sometimes I use this example with my students when I have one-on-one calls because now, as you already know, I have a community of students. We have group calls every 2 weeks, but I also offer one-on-one calls to some of my students. They also have the opportunity to pay for it, but sometimes when I see that someone is going really well and they need a little push, I offer them for free. So when I had a call one day with one of my students. She is doing amazing. And I was trying to explain to her why positioning yourself is important and how you can use social media to position yourself for luxury. And I told her, imagine back then how marketing was. Back then, we didn't have, like years ago, we didn't have a Instagram page to create a portfolio, right? We didn't have social media. We had stores, we had malls. So if you wanted to start a business, you would need to open a storefront, a store where people would come in and see what you have. So imagine you have a store and you're selling, let's say, flowers. So you create some beautiful flowers, you put them on the storefront so people can see what you do. So when people come in, what do you expect them to ask you? Are they going to look for soaps? No, they're not going to look for soaps or balloons. They're going to look for flowers. So that's how you need to imagine your Instagram page. Whatever you want your clients to reach out to you for, that's exactly what you need to post and let them know what you offer. So that's what I did. If I want to go to really big events, I would create bigger events. Even if my client in the beginning didn't pay me for it, I would do a little bit more, which means if she wanted 2 backdrops, I would make 3. Like it wasn't a big cost for me to add one more backdrop, but the next one paid for it, right? So if I want to go big, I would post big. Like I have so many events that I didn't even post because those are small and I don't want people to ask for them. I post big because I want big stuff. So it's really important how you position yourself. Like I see so many of people when I stay with them and talk with them, they are years in business. I just had actually a student of mine. He was 6 years in business, like longer than I was. He was struggling. He said, I have a big community. I am making money, but I am exhausted. He was doing 5, 6 jobs a week because he was very long in the business. He had people. The problem was what he was posting, what he was advertising was small. So in order for you to reach to 30K, then you need to do a lot of small things to reach to that number. So in this case, I asked him, what can we do differently? Like if you're doing small things to reach to 30K, how can we make this work without you being exhausted? You just create something bigger. Like instead of going to five different places, driving, taking things, you just go in one place, take 3 hours. Instead of making 1,000, you make 10,000. And then you need only three jobs to reach there. I know for a lot of people, this seem too impossible to get, but it's possible. Like it's really easy to get from $1,000 jobs to $5,000 jobs because once you understand that you can just offer a little bit more stuff and then maybe get help from people, you don't have to be exhausted. You just need to know how to work with. Like I had a client, I remember, he hired me to do a display. It was my first year in business. Anytime a client would ask me, how much is this? I would give them the price. I wouldn't ask questions. And then I go there and I see another decorator doing centerpieces, doing, a balloon garland at the entrance, I'm like, why did you hire two people? And he's like, you do this too? I didn't ask. Why didn't you ask? Now I have a list of questions. Like, I know what people might want, and I ask them, would you like this? Would you like that? What if we had this? It's not that we're making them pay more. We're offering possibilities. We're offering different things. I have so many times when people have no idea what you need to do for an event because it's their first time of planning this. So that's when I started offering more and getting bigger jobs. So now I have a limit. Like before it was 500 and then it became $2,000 minimum. Now for 2026 I'm planning $5,000 minimum because I just want to get to bigger and bigger and bigger because I feel it's easier for me to have a big job and get like a 10,000K profit than having five different people and small things here and there. So the moment you start thinking differently and start trying new things, that's when it started to shift. But you need to show people that you're capable of doing that. Otherwise, it's the lack of trust. And I feel like this is where people lack the most. They can't show people, they're not confident enough to show people that they are trustable, that they can trust them for their big events. And you can get confidence by being good at what you do, which means you need to practice. Like I created a 90 days balloon challenge in my Instagram page because I wanted to show people that if you really are consistent and you practice every day, it only takes 1 hour. Like it's nothing. 1 hour is nothing if you want to have success. If you do only 1 hour practice balloons a day, you're going to see such a big difference in your craft. And the moment your craft is beautiful, the moment you like what you're doing, your confidence grows. When you have confidence, you can give really high prices and you feel confident. And if this client doesn't pay, someone else is going to pay because it's worth it. That's how it works. It starts from you, it starts the way you see things.
Yeah, I see a lot of people operating out of a place of fear. And so, especially when they're early on and they don't know how to price, and they'll be like, oh, am I going to lose this client? I'll just undercut my own price so I can get them. Right.
Yeah.
And they're not delivering anything fancy anyway that would be that remarkable to put on Instagram anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And they're just
Oh,
they're just losing their own confidence, losing their own value. Right. So that those things go hand in hand. So you gotta that's part of like why with Fanfaire in collaboration mode, you want to be able to show people like you asked for this, but we could do this, this, and this too. And then
yeah.
it kind of opens people's eyes. They have to be able to see it and believe it. And so the proof is in the pudding. Show them
Yeah.
that your work is going to look like that. And so when people can see it, then they understand what the value that they're going to get.
Absolutely. And um, you just need to understand and have the confidence that you can create something like that. Because especially in the beginning for me, um, and I see this to a lot of people, we undercharge because we are afraid. Like one of the reasons, for example, for me that why I undercharged for 2 years. Like I was growing fast, but I was undercharging, which means I was having so many jobs. I was working a lot harder, to get to my goal, my goal that I had for that month, when I could just, have less jobs, be more confident, and ask what I'm worth. And I remember I was undercharging so much that I had this another balloon artist. Our job at that time, mine was even more luxurious than hers, but I didn't know that I am undercharging. I just had no clue how much people are charging. When she understood my prices are really low, because once she asked me to do a job for her because her dad was sick or something. And then I gave her my price and she even paid me a tip. And I was like, oh, this lady is so nice, She gave me a tip. Actually, I was undercharging so much that she was willing to give me a little bit more because she was feeling bad for me. I didn't know back then at that time. So she started getting jobs from the clients and giving that to me because I was doing an amazing job, and she would, take the rest for her. Like, I was charging 500 for something, she was charging 1500. It was crazy. I was undercharging like crazy. So the moment I understood what I'm doing, then I started thinking differently. But it took me a few months just to be there, because you need to understand this in your head. When you have no confidence, when you feel like you're charging too much, this shows. It shows on your phone call with your clients. It shows when you're texting. So you need to convince yourself first that your work is worth it. It's worth it, a lot of money. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to create a community, a school where I can teach these things to my students. Because I see so many people out there who are amazing artists, who do such an amazing job, but they undercharge because they just don't think it's worth more, and people are willing to pay. Believe me, I have the same exact person who hired me in my beginning. She paid $700 a display. She was really happy. She hired me in August and she paid $15,000 for an event that she did for her son. Same person. So what changed? The person didn't change. I changed the way I see business, and how much I know now people are willing to pay if they're happy with you, if they trust you, and if they believe you're going to do an amazing job. So that's what we do inside the Thrill Effect. And this is the reason why I created the Thrill Effect. The Thrill Effect is an online course where I teach people all around the world, but mostly are in US, how to become a balloon artist first, how to start the business from scratch, from very basic stuff, and then how to position yourself to become a luxury balloon artist, and then how to have confidence and change your mindset, because this is the most important thing. And when we do these Zoom calls every 2 weeks, we talk about this all the time. Like, my students come live, they ask me questions, and I share with them hundreds of stories, because I know 4 years doesn't seem that much, but I had so many clients. I experienced so many things. I then, with all my students, because I taught now more than 1,000 students, I have so many stories to share with them, so they understand exactly what they need to do, and that's why they move fast. Like, Yuha is here with us actually. It's one of my students. She joined us in June 3rd. I remember her because she's one of my best students. She never did balloons before. She is a mom of 3 kids, and she saw my ad that I was doing a free webinar, and she decided to join. And then she was impressed what she can achieve with balloons. So she decided to give it a try, and she invested on my course. And in 2 months, I believe, she reached to $10,000. Like, back then, it took me 6 months. To her, it took 2 months, because now she knows what to do. Like, for me, I had to test everything. Like, this is working, this is not working. Now I created a system because I know what works. I know where to go. I know how to talk to clients. I know what you need to do. I created a system. I recorded the classes. I tell you exactly what to do so you can reach there faster than me. And then I had another student, I have still in the course. Her name is Melanie. She started the balloon business a year ago. and she couldn't find clients. She, in her own words, she said, I was desperate. I was so desperate because I didn't have any jobs, and she was doing freelance balloons for other big artists. You know, she would go there and just blow balloons for them. And she said, I was desperate that I couldn't see where and how can I become the same. So then she decided, she said, I said, this is the last thing that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this course. I'm gonna see what Mia is saying, if it's right what she's saying, if I can really make this. And if this doesn't work, then I'm just not gonna continue anymore because I don't see the point. So she decided to give it a try. She joined us. In 3 months, she reached $12,000. And we had a one-on-one call because, of course, now she wants to reach, more. She wants first to be consistent with 10K and then 15 and 20, and that's how it goes. We had a one-on-one call, and she was sharing this with me. And she was like, I borrowed money from my dad to buy backdrops just so I can give it a try and do whatever you were saying. And I said, I need to do everything that's possible just to make it work. And she said, when I reached the $12,000, I couldn't believe it. It was the first time in my life that I reached that amount of money. And $12,000, it's really, you can get there in just a few months when you have a system, when you know exactly where to find clients, how to talk to them, how to post, how to position yourself, what exactly to do, it's easy to reach there. Now, after 3, 6 months, my students then have bigger goals. Like first you have a 10,000 goal, and then you have 15, and then you have 20, and that's how it goes. Like that's how it was for me. Like in a year and a half, I reached to 30K and then to 50K. And of course, now 2026 is always higher, like because it never ends. You want always to go higher and higher and higher because you see there's a big potential. You start with just balloons and then you add stuff and you add flowers. Like now we do flowers as well. For example, we just launched our artificial flower course inside the school, and because I believe you can get to 10, 15, even 30,000. I did that with balloons. But if you really want to go higher, you need to add more elements. You need to add more luxury stuff. And flowers are just an amazing way to do that because once you invest on good artificial flowers, then you have them for years and you can just reuse them and reuse them. And the profit is even better than with balloons. So, yeah, that's what we've been doing lately.
Well, and you got to have all those elements for the wow factor, right? You got to have all the details. You got to have the custom lettering, the florals, the, holiday draping, the shimmer walls, the layering. Like you have to have all these things that create depth to give it that wow. And all of those things are justifiable for an increase in the price because they can't achieve this look on their own, right? They're not gonna, they don't have the skill to do it, but they also can't put all these elements together, right? And they're like, okay, I can,
Yeah.
if I just add this, it's going to look a little bit better. If I go this, it's going to look a little better. If I, then like, okay, they can justify it when they see, okay, well, now that I see it, I want it, right? The next up,
Yes.
right?
The whole point is offering them something that they feel it's worth thousands. Like you can't expect to offer something that it's like a do-it-yourself thing and expect people to pay thousands. For me, in order to reach to have $2,000 minimum displays, I had to make it wow. I had to make them something that people know they can't get. They can't do it themselves. Like it's really need to be worth the money. And it's easier than you think. But once you when people didn't we never when people never did something, they feel it's really hard. But once they see other people do it and they see it's not that hard, once you know stuff. Because I remember I was trying to create this centerpiece with 260 balloons that you put on the holder. It took me 30 minutes, my first one. It was so hard because I didn't understand how to do it. Once I understood how, now it's like just easy peasy thing. So it's all about knowing what to do, then it's not that hard. And this is exactly why people that are in my school are successful because They know what to do, they know how to do it. And if they still have questions, they can ask every day. Like we created also a chat GPT bot. We created Mia AI, which has all the information that are in my online school. So if I can't give them an answer right away, even though we always give the answer we are very responsive, um, they still have Mia AI that they can ask questions and get the answers in just a few seconds. Believe me, sometimes I go to Mia AI and ask questions because it's
Totally
easier. It just
okay.
gives you, it
Yeah.
just gives you, everything so fast. So it's all about having the information fast and just using it for your business and you get there. So once you understand that investing in yourself means investing in your business and growing really, really faster, then you can't stop. That's why I keep buying these kind of courses for myself. Like I buy courses all the time, just to see, for me, if I buy a course, like one of the courses that I bought, I remember because now I have a lot of following. I started my classes when I only had 5,000, which was last year.
Wow.
I had
How did
only
you grow your following so big so fast?
Um, in January 2024, yeah, which means, um, yeah, almost 2 years now, right? So I started really taking my Instagram page seriously because I only had 5,000 followers. I was trying everything. I didn't seem to find what's working. I blamed algorithm like everyone. I said, algorithm doesn't like me. I was even dancing with my balloons. Like I was doing everything that everyone was doing. It wasn't working for me. And I said, I need to do something because I don't think it's the problem that I'm not likable. It's just I don't know what's working. So I need to learn that. And when you want to learn something that you don't seem to find it yourself, you just need to find someone who already cracked the code, right? Who already reached there. So I found this girl, she was based in UK. She started an Instagram page in August. She reached 500,000 followers in 3 months. I was blown away. How could she do that? I did the same exact thing and I felt it wasn't working for me. And then she started an online course teaching people how to not only get followers and likes and see what's working, but also how to sell through Instagram and social media. And her course was $1,000. So back then, like 2 years ago, $1,000 courses were like crazy for me. It's too much money. What can you learn in a $1,000 course? That's what I was thinking. And I thought 2 months, buy it, not buy it. Should I buy it? And then I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it. Whatever happens, happens. $1,000. Okay. I paid the course, which was a yearly plan. And I said, okay, I'm gonna take a month just to, you know, read everything, watch everything, and see what this girl says. So I remember I bought this in November, the whole November. I wasn't doing anything that she was saying. I was just watching everything, like watching and rewatching and testing and seeing what's, learning. And I said, okay, now in December, I'm gonna start and put into work everything that she's saying. I started in December and I was doing everything she's saying. I didn't see any results. And I was like, why is working for everyone but not for me? But I was lucky enough that the girl, my coach, my mentor, she was offering Zoom calls like I do now, like this one every week. So I could go on a Zoom call. It was a group Zoom call and ask questions. So I would go to her Zoom call and say, "Hey, could you please check why this really didn't work for me? Why this didn't work?" And she would go on my page and say, "Listen, I remember I reached one of my reels went viral. I had only a month and a half in this course and it reached millions, like 2 million views, but like 100 followers, like it wasn't nothing depending on, if you compare it to the number of views. And I go there and I say, what's happening? Why people are not following me? And she's like, let me see. She checks it and she says, because your reel is general. Like your reel is about events and your page is about balloons. You need to be specific. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, let's just focus on balloons more. And then in 1 week, I do a reel that reached 49 million views.
Wow.
Yeah, I have it on my page. If you go to my Instagram page, you can see reels that have millions of views. And then it just, my Instagram blows up. Like I was having thousands of followers every single day. So from January till May, I reached 100,000 followers because now I knew what to do. But that wasn't the goal specifically, but that was the time that I started in-person classes. And I remember I was still at 5,000 followers in January. And I decided to do an in-person class because I had so many requests. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do one. I posted it. I had only 3 weeks to promote it. And usually people would go at least 2 months. I said, I can do this, just do it. It was 6th of February when I had my first in-person class, and I was debating with my husband, and he was like, if we have 10 people, like it's great. It's our first one. I'm like, no, at least 15. We need at least 15 people to come. 24 people came to my first in-person class. But it was such a success because all these people were blown away with everything that we shared and the possibilities. And a lot of these people are my friends now because I created such a relationship with them. They were my first students. I wanted to help. I created a Facebook group. I was helping them in their journey because I didn't want to be there only that day. I wanted to be there for them, during because they're going to have questions. They're going to need help. I wanted to be there. And that year alone, we had 8 in-person master classes. All of them sold out here in New York. But um, I learned so much the way to present classes from this girl. Like just from my master classes, I got more than $50,000. How much I paid her? 1,000. It's nothing. It's nothing of what I got from her. And this was the time when I said, if I paid her $1,000 and I got not 50,000, I got value more than 100,000 from this girl, then that's why I went to Hermosi and paid 10,000 because I knew that if you pay to people who already made it and you learn only one thing, you're gonna have a big difference in your business because that's gonna change everything for you. And that's what I did. When I went to Hermosi school, I came back, me and my husband, we took 2 weeks just to learn everything we got from this class. We made changes based on what we learned. And we did everything on the 3 months. That's what we said. 3 months, we're just going to do everything we learned. And we stopped advertising. Like I was spending a lot of money on ads. We stopped advertising completely in March. And I've been booked and did the biggest events since I started without needing to advertise myself at all. Like I still do ads for teaching and but not for events. Every job that I had came because I knew how to present and position myself so people would come. And the best thing that happened to me was now I don't have to talk to tens and hundreds of people all the time convincing them to hire me for balloons because people that come to me now, they're already convinced. Like they come to me because they want to hire me because they love my job and they want me to go and do their event. So now it's easy. They come, I give them the price, they pay the deposit, that's how it goes. Like I feel so much peaceful in my life because this was one of the things that I really didn't like, having to text with so many people. It just felt so bad and ghosting. I don't have that anymore because I spend money where it should be. I spent on coaching on people who already knew. Now I know. And now I teach other people how to do the same thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've had amazing success in such a short period of time. What I guess we are over time. I want to ask the people who are left if you guys have any specific questions that you want to ask Mia. You can just come off of mute and go ahead and ask. And if there are no questions, I have one question. So for the thrill effect, what percentage of your course is business versus like decor and technique related?
Um, I can't really give you a specific percentage.
Like,
But I all I can say is there's everything. Like we thought of every detail. Um, on the thrill effect, the first module is called the art of balloon decor. This is a module that I explain to my students everything that has to do with how to create balloons. I start with showing them my balloon luggage, what I usually take on my jobs, and what I always have in it, like all the items, and how to blow balloons properly, how to tie them properly, how to create clusters and base and everything. So, in the first module, that is with at least 4 or 5 videos, I show you how I create a design from scratch. So, you know exactly the technique of balloons and everything. Then I have a module of only main displays. Like you have a lot of main displays that I created for my own clients and I keep adding them. Like, because since I still do events and I record them and I edit them and post them because I want my students to be updated. Like, I'm all the time searching of what's working right now, what's trending. This is an industry that you need to be updated. Like, one year bows are huge, another year drapes are huge, another year LED butterflies. So we need to be, ongoing to see what's trending so we attract people to hire us. So I'm all the time posting every month new decorations, new displays. And then I have another module that has only centerpieces. Okay, different kind of centerpieces that they can learn and create for their events. And then we have the business module. I believe I have 7 different topics: branding, marketing, 2 videos only for pricing, so they know exactly how to price. Mindset, 1 module only about mindset, how to shift it, because as I said, that's one of the most important parts. How to get leads, how to attract clients, how to book them, how to close the deal, sales, how to talk, everything that you can think of, it's there. And besides that, then we have a module that is called insane bonuses because we feel like those are insane, really. Everything that I feel made a big change on my business, we added at the insane bonuses. Invoices, contract that you need for your own business. We created a calculator. My husband created a calculator where people will know exactly what to invest on. So you don't buy stuff that you don't use them again, and you make sure that you have at least 50 to 80% profit on every job, because we believe you can have profit and still invest on that job and still have 50 to 80%. When you have a calculator and you know how much you're going to spend and how much you're going to make, then it's easier for you to give a pricing. So we have the calculator, and we have it's called Mia Black Book, where I show you exactly which items you need to buy and the links where to buy them. And the community, of course, which is one of the most amazing things, where you have the school community where you can post and get answers, and then weekly Zoom calls. On October 1st, we also launched the artificial flower class. I invested on flowers a year and a half ago, and I used them so much. And I found great overseas vendors who sell in bulk pricing, and the flowers are amazing quality. So I created a course that talks all about creating fluffy, real looking flowers, where, how to buy them, how to source them, what kind to buy. So that's another course that is, you can unlock it, or you can get everything for a yearly price, which besides everything that I talked about also includes Mia AI, and a free call with me It's usually an hour, maybe sometimes a little bit more, depending on what we're talking about. But I hop on a Zoom call with my student, and I see where they are right now and what they need to focus on. Because most of the time, the problem why people are not having a success is because they are doing too many things at the same time. We need to know what to say no and where to focus on to be successful. So we find where their gaps are and what to focus on, and then we give them what they need to do, their first steps. Once they start doing that, they see the success, and then there's no stop anymore because now they know what to do all the time. And they always can come back on our Zoom calls and ask questions. And just I've seen one of the things, not only answering the questions that my students have, but whenever they are in my Zoom calls, they get encouraged. They get motivated because they see what other people are doing. They see that they're not alone. They see that there are other people who are experiencing the same thing and how they overcame it. So the moment you see that you're not alone and you can do it too, you know? So yeah, this is basically, I believe, all that it's included.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's amazing. So, that's Thrill Effect.
Yes.
Mia is at Balloon Thrill if you're not already following her on Instagram. And with that, I think we'll close out here. I think this is a good
Yeah.
place to stop. Thank you so much, Mia. I feel inspired. I'm thrilled to have you. This tonight was a lot of fun. So thank you so much for your time, your enthusiasm, your generosity with what you shared. And I look forward to more of this together.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alexis. It's been really fun. I never stop talking when I talk about this because this is my passion and I don't gatekeep, as you can see. One of the things that, is different about me and the Thrill Effect is that we share everything together because we believe in community and we believe that the more you share and help people, it comes to you 10 times more. So thank you again for having me tonight. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you all for joining. Hope to see you on the next one.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And everyone.